USA, Jesus, YESHUA, Joshua, 888. The American Dream, Trance. YESHUA, Jesus, Joshua, Zeus fought the Battle of Jericho. The name Jericho means moon in Hebrew. The moon reflects the sun, and Joshua was the successor of Moses who would lead the people into the promised land. Here we see Joshua reflecting Moses, and Jericho is a reflection of America. Joshua equals USA-JOH equals YOH-USA. The walls of America come tumbling down. The demise of America, the perceived judgment of the Lord, is perpetuated by the elite who run America and who run the world. For instance, George W. Bush appears to be a dumbfounded president with little sense. He was taught this from birth on his Freemasonic father's knee. He was taught to play dumb. Consider this, nobody is as stupid as George W. Bush appears to be. It's absolutely incredible how famously he's played his role as the buffoon. America and the world has bought into this buffoonery that has created the reaction, resentment, resistance and revenge that is meant to bring about the long-promised flood. George W. Bush set the stage for Barack Obama, and now they're talking climate change and the rising sea levels. W just wasn't the nitwit everyone supposed him to be. On the chart below, a set of name co-relationships are demonstrated to show how the subliminal locked up in the Battle of Jericho is really the sacrifice of America delivered through the double cross of religion, symbolized by Abraham Lincoln, the Lion and the Lamb, and symbolized by Thomas Jefferson, the intellectual who instilled Americans with the white supremacy fascist mentality of exceptionalism and superiority. These two icons are the Nemean lion and the serpent dragon, who are one and the same, who guard the golden apples of Zeus, the apples of immortality in the Garden of Hera, that no one should ever eat these apples, which is to discover the truth of the hypnotic Kabbalistic method of total control. USA, USA, USA. Zeus, Zeus, Zeus. When the letters USA are shouted out in repetition in any situation, the chant is for the sun god, Zeus of Olympus. These letters are subliminals referring to YESHUA, Jesus, Joshua or Zeus. It was this thinking, the thinking of Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, that Thomas Jefferson was emulating, and that he maneuvered into the American psyche and was rewarded with incredible stature. Socrates, Plato and Aristotle helped lay the foundations of Western philosophy. Plato, for instance, used his dialogues to teach philosophy, logic, rhetoric and mathematics. These things Jefferson implanted within American society, for these are the trance-inducing tools of lunacy. Of course, the whole Western world has succumbed to this lunacy. However, the United States of America is on the chopping block of sacrifice at this very illusory moment, and the trance must end for whoever might hear, so as not to emotionally experience the planned cataclysm. Xi'an equals Zion, the White House, the Temple of the Lord. Throughout this site it has been demonstrated that the whole of religion is based on the structure of an electrically charged ion. This ion is symbolized by the atom symbol, which has within it the six-pointed star. This is the Star of David, the Star of Israel, and is emblazoned on the flag of Israel. The six-pointed star is the oldest sex ritual symbol in the world, formed by the overlaying of two pyramids, the sacred symbol of Egypt and of the mystery religions such as the Knights Templar, Freemasonry, and stretching all the way back to the Eleusinian mysteries. The charts below will demonstrate how the White House, the presidential residence, is a type of the Temple of Solomon, the Temple of the High Priest, the President, and how the State of Israel is symbolized deep within the core of this temple. Furthermore, the flags of Washington and Israel both illustrate the symbolism of the World Trade Center towers, and how these towers were prepared as a lamb for the slaughter. Additive and subtractive color mixing. The temple. What is the significance of mixing red and green together? Because red and green don't create yellow. When mixing light, where no physical pigments are present, red and green create yellow. For instance, when a beam of light passes through a rain cloud, a rainbow is formed. There are no pigments being mixed, there's just the light beam being broken apart, or divided. The same with a TV screen or computer monitor. If you look very closely at the dots being fired at the screen, all you'll see are red, green and blue. These three primaries are then adjusted to different levels to create the full color spectrum. Notice also that these color names are highly symbolic. Yet again we have B and G words in blue and green. Red is the name of Riora, or death ray, the sun ray illusory god. The letter D in red is representing death. Light is a death ray, and the color red is symbolic of blood and sacrifice, or death. BLU is Ba, Bel, Baal, the Baphomet, and Baal the fertility god, and these two suggestions are coupled with the notion of you, or you, the sacrificial lamb. This sacrifice has been suggested to be able to wash the sins of the world away, and is a subliminal associated with the coming world flood of Noah, or in modern terms, the global warming flood. The color green symbolizes holy water, or holy sacrifice, a combination of yellow and blue. Subtractive color mixing is when pigments are used. This form of color mixing is symbolic of the physical three-dimensional world, where colors are absorbed or reflected. This form of color mixing takes on the characteristics of the surface being absorbed into, or reflects the surface colors of those objects nearby. Additive color mixing is symbolic of the spiritual heavenly ethereal state, and subtractive symbolizes the underworld. This is the duality nature that was conjured up from the mind of the Luciferian thinkers who brought us this illusory 3D light. The white hexagon in the center of the additive atom symbol is meant to represent good. The black hexagon in the center of the subtractive atom symbol is meant to represent bad or evil. Working against each other in every system of the three-dimensional realm, these two forms of color mixing form the basis of the subliminal hypnotic process that entraps every person in the prison of lunacy. As we focus on the three-dimensional reality, we totally lose our connection to and recognition of our wisdom state. With this information, consider the colors of the rooms in the White House. Keeping in mind that it is called the White House in reference to the spiritual, heavenly, ethereal notion that alludes to the subliminal that this is the house of the Lord. The Temple of Solomon, no less,